Good morning, y'all. Back out here. Got a pretty day on the creek. It's been a few weeks. Only been out once since the last video you guys saw. A lot of rain, some really cold temperatures, winter weather, things like that. But beautiful day today. It's about 40 degrees right now. It's supposed to be about 50, but we got abundant sunshine, no wind, so it'll be a good day. Hop down here to show you how it's changed though. In a month, John came out here quite a bit over the holidays, so there's that big rock that we rolled. This hole's pretty much worked out and done. Came over here. John got a nice little nugget there. He's gonna work this depression here. Ought to be really good gold there. I don't see how there couldn't be, but last time I got about, let's see, 0.8 of a gram out of this hole. Had a nice deep depression there. I'm gonna work on that long piece of bedrock you see right here. I think there it is. This piece right here. We're gonna clean all this off, pry that up, see what's kind of going on up here on the front side of the hole, and then we'll move downstream, keep clearing it out, see how it goes. So we'll get set up here and kind of go over things. All right, John's getting his box set up here. He's running a 2.5 inch off the Honda GXH50. Plenty of power into the Gold Buddy.
Yeah, first thing I do is I set the angle with these Gold Hog mats. I'm running cut down River Hog and Talon, alternating each. I'm not going to say what the proper angle is. I'm sure you can run it any way you want. I've run it 7 degrees of pitch. I've run it 9. And when I ran 9, I tested my tailings and found I was losing some small gold. So right now I'm running it at 8. I use a cell phone app that Doc talks about. Digital angle finder, real simple. If it comes on, there we go. All I do is just set the pitch anywhere close to 8, and that's 8.6, a little more than I want. And of course I'm gonna level it afterwards.
8 on the dot.
8. So that's that. That's set. Then of course, I don't run a big level across the sides because the riffles to me is what really matters. That's where all your action is. So of course that's where you want level. That's close enough. Make sure my legs are seated good. And that's how I run my box. I think 8 degrees is like 1 3/4 inches per foot is what 8 degrees comes out to, somewhere in there. I know that sounds like a lot, but these are really fast mats. They don't clog up with big rocks. Everything rolls on through. I do not have my mats glued. Reason is if I start finding gold in just the bottom 1 or 2 mats, I know I need to change something. If they're all glued together, it's really hard to tell where at on the whole mat you caught your gold. So I don't glue mine together just for that reason. But you know, once you figure out what does work, glue them together if you want to, if it's easier to wash one whole mat out versus all the little ones. And being not glued, I can wash each individual mat into my gold pan. I don't have to use a bucket and then rinse the bucket out into my pan. And at the end of this run, on my Garrett pan, the cons just barely covered the bottom. There's not a lot of material to pan out. So that's how we do it here. It works for me. give it a try.
Okay, so just got done with the first run. About an hour and a half. Really about half of that was cleaning overburden, half of it was down in good material, bedrock pieces, chunks coming up, grit. Here's the reveal. Let's see if I can do this. There's that little shot. There's that pretty gold showing up. Yeah, all chunky. All chunkies. A little bit of lead shot. Nice little piece right there. Keep after it. I'm gonna move down the back side of the hole, downstream side, see what happens. Alright, y'all. So what did we learn today? We learned that we should not be working the holes that we are working this time of the year because they are deep and the water is 33 degrees and the wind blows. It's miserable. Anyhow, you saw the morning cleanup was fantastic. Can't beat that for about an hour and a half, especially when half of that was moving overburden. But we moved back downstream, moved a huge boulder out of the way, got down to bedrock. 3 feet away. Gold was terrible. But then again, it was a lot of struggles reaching down that deep, long arming, getting water over the bib of the waders, getting water down in the gloves. So we're probably going to abandon those holes until it warms up, which is good because that forces us to, you know, change it up and find another good spot. So we're going to look for some shallower deposits next couple times out. But what was interesting, I did find some soft bedrock down in the hole that was producing really small shiny pyrite cubes, which is pretty interesting because we don't find any pyrite at all in this creek. And I think, you know, the hundreds of gallons of rock that we've moved, we've only seen 2, maybe 3 small pieces of limonite cubes after pyrite. So interesting to see that. Of course, we're trying to chase down the source of this gold. Seeing the pyrite is a good sign of the sulfides there anyway. So didn't see any quartz stringers running through that particular bedrock, so didn't get my hopes up too high. And where the pyrite was good, honestly, the gold was terrible. So anyways, we're gonna sign off here, put this video together, see if our buddies over there over my shoulder here are chowing down this evening. It's chilly tonight. Anyways, appreciate y'all. Hope you like the videos. Try to put this one together as soon as we can. Get it out to you so you can check it out. All right, bye.